You lose a lot more games than you win, and Jameis Winston was Exhibit A last night. Bo Nix never took a sack. Jameis Winston took a couple of beauties, like really badly timed sacks. Bo Nix had 2 picks. One was a deflection. One was like a change of possession, downfield a punt. Jameis had 4, 2 were pick sixes and 1 in the end zone. So sometimes a quarterback needs to be boring and manage the game. Jameis Winston is never boring. He's Evel Knievel at quarterback. He's a walking bachelor party. He's a parachutist who forgets his parachute. Those skydivers don't last long. Bo Nix, however, as a rookie, had a sense of timing, when to let it loose and when not to. And last night was a shootout, and shootouts happen in the NFL. And Jameis Winston, of his 85 snaps, you went wow with about a dozen of them. And then you went ugh with about 4 to 5 of them. Now, Bo Nix had just 66 snaps. He had a couple of wows, but it was mostly, there we go. Add a quarterback. There you go. Slide, get down, get the first down. Again, very few wows, but Bo Nix didn't really have a, oh no, and that's Jameis's career. I'd argue Jameis Winston is arguably the most talented quarterback in this league I would never build around. No, thank you. He would drive you nuts. Also, and I thought this was really telling, and I've said this before, a coaching staff will tell you what they think of your young quarterback by what they allow him to do. It's almost like with your kids. You will tell me how much you trust your kids by what you allow them to do. Sean Payton, multiple times, with a lead against Myles Garrett in the Cleveland pass rush. Sean Payton allowed Bo Nix multiple times to drop back deep in his end zone. He trusts the kid. That, to me, was telling. Jameis Winston's a quarterback with a ton of talent, size, arm. Nobody trusts him. Sean Payton's like, kid, let her rip. Go down the field. Roll out. And Cleveland, with a lead. He's a rookie. Nah, it's okay. And to me, that was telling. And everybody keeps asking, well, is Denver for real? Folks, look at the boxes that playoff teams that win games check. Head coach, Denver A+. Quarterback, capable. Pass rusher, Nick Bonito, elite. Offensive line, PFF ranks Denver number 2. Weapon, I love Cortland Sutton. Cornerback, best in the league. Every playoff box, they check. Coach, quarterback, pass rusher, weapon, O-line, elite corner. Check, 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 check. I could argue Kansas City didn't have all those boxes checked. Now they've got Mahomes, and it's only Bo Nix. But this was a classic example. This game didn't look anything like Denver thought it was going to look like. And Bo Nix didn't have a lot of wow, but he didn't have 6. Ugh, what was that? Okay, so if you look at the playoff picture, the Broncos get a bye, and then they get to host Indianapolis, the closest AFC team to them in the playoff hunt. They'll be favored in that game and should be. Denver at 8-5, week off, perfect timing, off a win, feeling good, hosting an offense that can't throw the ball with any consistency. Indianapolis, I think Denver wins, goes 9-5. And again, if you ask yourself, are they for real? Do they check the 6 boxes? They check all of them. Little young at quarterback, but 61 college starts. Makes you feel pretty good about that. And the way Payton lets Bo Nix run around in the end zone tells me all I need to know. He trusts him in big spots. Okay, so I said this yesterday. I think J-Mac brought this up. We were talking about, is the Bears a good job? Well, so Kevin Warren, the president, they could have hired Jim Harbaugh last year, but Jim Harbaugh didn't like Kevin Warren. Kevin Warren used to run the Big Ten. They don't like each other. And so that's not going to happen. And so you just kind of retain Matt Eberflus, who, came into the season on the hot seat. So hot, he's gone. But yesterday, Kevin Warren made a pitch that this is a really good job, and he may be right. Now, at first I thought, give me a break. McCaskey's never had a 4,000-yard quarterback. And then I started thinking, well, there were questions about the Chargers, but they had the quarterback, right? There were questions for years and years. The Spanos family, they're cheap. Chargering. I mean, there was a lot of stuff about the Chargers. They moved to L.A., played in a small stadium. Is it right? And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, they got the coaching staff right. They had the quarterback. So I thought about the job opening. Chicago, the Jets, the Saints, probably the Jaguars, the Cowboys. I tend to think the Giants and Cincinnati should retain their coaches. Not sure if they will, but I would. So if you're talking about what did Jim Harbaugh, what was he attracted to, it's quarterback. And the two best would be Chicago and Jacksonville. Now, the Jaguars have the younger, richer ownership. That is something. And also, the Jaguars play in a much easier division. Whoever gets that Bears job, good luck against Green Bay and Detroit that have stacked, young, ascending rosters. And good luck with Minnesota. They may have the best coach in the division. But I was thinking about these two jobs. In Chicago, if you win, and I think coaches have to have healthy egos, the great ones do, the Sean Payton, the Belichicks, the Vrabels, Andy Reid, the best coaches, McVay, Shanahan, there's a confidence, some will say arrogance, but I think it's a confidence. And here's the thing about Chicago. If you win in Chicago, you're a rock star. Chicago had Oprah and Michael Jordan and Ditka and Mayor Daley and Wrigley Field and Belushi and Farley. Jacksonville, hey, they're opening a Chipotle next Wednesday. I mean, even if you win there. I mean, Jacksonville's where mobsters go to hide. Chicago was the mob. Like, it matters more. Chicago historically, architecturally, politically, it's big. Chicago is big. Yeah, the division is going to be really tough. But I mean, Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams. Trevor Lawrence is on what? His fourth injury? Even when Jacksonville's been good, the whole country's like, can we get back to the Steelers and Patriots and Manning and Brady and winning games? Like, Chicago matters. It's dysfunctional. Their politics and their sports are dysfunctional. Their history's fascinating. I just think there's a rock star quality to it. And if you look at what the best coaches generally look at, and this is why the Jets' job is dicey. Not only do you not have a young ascending quarterback, you've got an old prickly one in Aaron Rodgers who's increasingly expensive. In Dallas, I like Dak. Everybody likes Dak. But as the highest paid player, he's a B+ quarterback coming off another injury. I think Chicago's the best job for a lot of reasons. And one of it, coaches have egos. And if you hit it in Chicago, you're big. And that matters. There are certain franchises, the late John Madden used to tell our management all the time, certain games sound big. Green Bay against the Niners. Who knows who's quarterback? It sounds big. Ravens Steelers, even when Kenny Pickett played. It sounds big. The Bears can't get quarterback right. If the Bears are playing Green Bay tomorrow, they could be 0-8. You'd be like, oh, it's the Packers and the Bears playing. And I think that stuff matters. And for that, I do think, and Caleb Williams, and Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, I think it is the best job. I've reconsidered. Also, I get Caleb for 3 more years minimum on a rookie contract. That matters too. I've already paid Trevor Lawrence, and he's expensive. It hasn't lived up to the contract. So I think the Bears is the best job.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.